How's it going, guys? And welcome to another video here. It's been a while since I've done a video. I'm stuck for ideas. What do I talk about? Is there anything in the news worth sharing my opinion on? God, that is so slippy there, my God. Thought I was wearing the proper outdoor footwear as well. Obviously not good for city streets on this really wet late October. What date is it? The 26th, is it? Enough of the mindless banter out of me. I need to get a coffee somewhere. Catherine Connolly is the new President of Ireland. Good on her. Well done to Catherine. Native Galwegian from a massive family, load of siblings, 14 of them in total. Pre-famine family numbers. God, I need to get out of the rain here. Whoa, get out of the way of the train. I know the train driver. Let's get a coffee here in this mini metropolis of Galway City. Most woke city. People are saying, not me, I'm from here, so I'm kind of indifferent to it, but I heard a few people saying that Galway is woke. So I'm going to get a little cappuccino or something here now. They're having a Mochnus parade here now in Galway City. So this should be kind of a busy evening, a busy day around the place. So I'm going to just sit down here now. What I'll do is I'll just have a little chat. We've just finished what was probably the most boring. I gotta check this guy out. The most boring, least sort of interesting, least fair kind of presidential election in Ireland. Not that I can closely remember the previous ones, but yeah, so Connolly is in. Not my president. Is that what we're going to be saying now? Don't get me wrong, she is a nice woman, by all means, as in she's highly diplomatic, highly polite, the type of woman that's, quite respectful of people. In her speech, her acceptance speech, which a lot of people were praising her for because she didn't need notes. She did a bilingual speech, equal amount of content in both Irish and English. People are amazed that she didn't need any prompts or anything. They must love Trump, and if that's the case. She only spoke for a couple of minutes, but of course she mentions the inclusivity thing. Inclusive and diversity, yes. She hit on that, and that she will be representing the people who've moved to Ireland. Okay, so she is a bit of a globalist that way, but does that mean then that she'll be representing, or that she'll discuss, her being a barrister, will she discuss the criminality that's moved into Ireland as well, of which we've seen copious amounts recently, especially in the last week or two. Just crazy stuff going on now in this country. It's got worldwide attention now, Ireland. People are watching Ireland from all around the world. Even Ezra Levant, or whatever his name is, flying in from Canada to do a little feature on City West and the riots and all that. So this wild card that the left seem to think Catherine Connolly is, and how they've heavily pedestalised her and made her into not just a person but a movement. It's a thing of fascination for me because being from Galway and kind of knowing this woman to see, she was mayor here 20 years ago. But yeah, not a whole lot of excitement really about this woman. I know she's very nice. She's well spoken. So is Maria Steen, by the way. But nobody seems to have an interest in what she wants to say. So they're thrilled. She is the new face of the new replacement now to Michael D. Also much favoured by the sort of left-wing establishment in Ireland. They seem to idolise her. I saw the videos of them, her fans. And when I mean her fans, I think she has a lot of obviously the left-wing. You'll see that now with the articles there. Oh, it's left-wing Connolly. It's all about left-wing. So the left, I can see even people I know celebrating this as a left-wing victory. You know, the ever-present sort of spiel out of them that they have the higher moral standard. It always comes from the left that they have the higher moral standard. But yes, can you imagine right-wing, great. No, but it's all left-wing. It's a great thing that it's a left-wing thing. Sorry, I'm kind of very repetitive on this point. So what'll I do? God, they're so loud. I'll get a second angle. I've enough done from this corner. I've never really sat on these things before. These, what are they? Kind of anti-skateboard benches. Skateboard benches with these yokies and steel to try and stop the lads doing tricks. I was just telling the girl that made me the coffee there how it was brightening up and it was turning out nice. And now look at it. Jesus. Here we've the characters of Galway. Look, the seagulls. Juvenile herring gull right there. So, oh God, it's coming down now. Thanks a million, buddy. Yeah, good on you. Guy in a wheelchair with a smart comment. So we've Steve in here. And he's, you're emptying your rubbish.
I'm collecting cans.
Oh, are you? Are you happy with our new president?
I actually met her yesterday and I said they shouldn't have let the Christian lady run. I said.
What's that?
I said they should have let the Christian lady run. Then I'd say congratulations to them.
You should have
let the Christian lady run. There was a nice lady.
Oh, Maria Steen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She was kind of like a conspiracy of silence left her out, basically.
Yeah. It was a little. She was kind of hard done by, wasn't she? She had 18 out of 20 upvotes. She wasn't eligible.
Oh, yeah.
Legible. Yeah, she is legible. She's very well spoken, very attractive, presentable woman, but not cool enough for woke Ireland, you know?
Oh yeah. My parents were Christians. They were sad when they didn't raise the flag when the Pope died, even though they did it all over the world. Except for Ireland there's a lot of Catholic Christians in Ireland, so they should have allowed a representative who was against marriage equality.
Exactly. Well, look, good on you anyway. Yeah. Well done. You're collecting you're going to make a bit of money out of that.
I will. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you again. So this election, apparently the figures. I'm sure you've watched content on it already, but it was one of these sort of. It had the least turnout, the lowest numbers of voters, something like 40%, and a record number of spoiled voters, okay, those who just chose to deliberately ruin their vote to make a statement. Something like 213,000, am I right with that figure? That's quite a lot. The numbers overall, if it's only 40% of the electorate, 200,000, that's a nice little chunk. What does that mean? That means that I can honestly tell you between the 40% total and then the 200,000 out of that plus, that's kind of suggestive that there was fuck all interest in this whole thing. Okay, but you would never think that, of course, if you go on social media and you see the celebrations of Connolly now. Plenty of diversity from our Galway Roma community in the background. I wonder, did they vote for Catherine Connolly? There's a Garda presence here as well. Out and about here. Nice to have. People say that there's no guards, we've no guards, anytime there's any crime around, we've no guards, sure, on the streets. How's about having less crime on the streets to begin with? So this is High Street here. A bit of a fiddler. There's actually guards up ahead as well. Just going to walk by Mochnus here. I love this little corner. As I spoke about before, the worst part for me and that's a lovely shop there, Wooden Heart. But the worst part for me is from quitting alcohol is missing these places. I know I can go in for coffee, but it's not the same. But I'm very grateful at the same time. I need to get out of this area. Guys, as I walk across Wolftown Bridge here, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the people who've supported the channel. Look at those two dogs. They're lovely dogs. How's it going? I love the dogs. Hello. Sorry, now I'm doing a little video clip, you don't mind. You've no interest in the presidential stuff?
No.
I think most people are like that. This is what I'm doing a video on now. I'm going to switch it off, don't worry.
You're nice.
No, look. He's out having a cigarette, and these are his 2 dogs.
They're my 2 dogs now, boy.
Yeah, have you anything to say about them?
Yeah, this one is only about 4 months old, and the father one was 17 years old, and the day that he was born, he died.
Okay.
These are all friends of the new president here.
Okay, so we've fans of Catherine Connolly here.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know nothing about her, yeah.
Well, we met her a couple of nights ago, and she spent a few minutes talking to the kids. Which I was really impressed with, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And there's you. And it was her birthday.
She was nice. Okay.
It was her birthday on the election day yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Fabulous.
So,
yeah. But yeah, she is. Look, she's a lovely woman. She's a heart of gold.
Yeah.
But I just personally think Ireland is in a kind of a funny place. I'm like that. I'm a skeptic.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah.
So. Yeah, but you're not sort of happy that someone sort of leaning left got into.
No, it's not that. I'm going to be straight up. I think left wing will get you so far.
Yeah.
And I'd consider myself classically liberal, but I just think that there's an interest in areas outside of Ireland and stuff that I wish people would. I wish someone would focus more on Ireland. You know what I mean? A little bit with the accommodation, with what's happening with we had murders happening. And all that, and up in Dublin there's City West and all that, and it's all about the protests now. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
So the big story is the protests and not what caused them.
Yeah, right.
So we mightn't be on the same page, but that's kind of where I come from, and that's why, you know.
Well, it's like a lot of reporting. I mean, even reporting on the Israel-Gaza thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's all about who's reporting it.
Yes,
And you can tell the inherent biases.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
on literally who's writing the words. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
My wife's family are from here, and my father-in-law. He's been living in England all his life, but he's the most, kind of Galway man you could ever meet.
Yeah.
And he's been following Catherine Connolly for the last 20 odd years.
Yeah.
So when he gave the thumbs up, I was like,
she has a tradition. She's got the traditional Galway view.
Yeah.
You know, she's from Galway woman. She's from a huge family, but she's from a family of 14 children, right? The average birth rate now of Irish people is 1.4.
Right.
Literally 1/10. So me and you, we are like over the next decade or two, it's kind of game over, I think, for Irish people in our own with immigration.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
We are. This country in a few decades is going to be just vastly different.
It will.
It'll be completely multicultural, and some of us,
like Holland, maybe.
I think we're speed running it because we've overtaken everyone, and even like small towns up and down the country now, like Ballyhonus, Longford. All these different places, it's changed dramatically, Letterkenny and all this. So I'm a bit like, can we not hold on to some of our people? All our young people are leaving as well and all that.
I got you.
So she kind of doesn't embrace that stuff and doesn't talk about it, and I don't think she will. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. It's a kind of, walking through Galway there now, the feeling of it being an Irish kind of place. It's less evidently Irish, let's be honest, but I don't begrudge people, as I said before, for wanting to come here. I don't have anything against them, but it's a changing city now. That's a good thing to a lot of people, and I think a lot of the Connolly supporters who are a mixture of, we'll say, left-wing kind of types that would sort of might have a slightly socialist kind of values. And then there's the sort of normies. And the normies would be kind of just the kind of generic Irish heads that sort of go with the flow of things. So there's a little bit of that going on then, with Catherine Connolly, I suppose. You just see, because people are openly praising her to the hilt, making her out to be the best thing since sliced bread. Others will see it then and go, I want to be a piece of this. I think she's cool too. And they'll want to be on the winning team. That's kind of it now. Oh wow, we've a great selection of seagulls. And I don't know if you'll see on this camera, but there's an oyster catcher right in the middle of them. So you'll see out there we've a great black-backed gull. We have a little oyster catcher, right? The bird of St. Bridget. But apparently the oyster catcher has the St. Bridget's cross on its back. So it's a kind of an Irishy bird. It's a native to these shores here. And if you just look at all the gulls here, there's all more or less similar species of herring gulls, but then you've one little oyster catcher that's standing out there and just doing its own thing, it's not going to follow in with the other birds. It's not going to start behaving like the gulls, because if it does that, it'll end up in trouble. It has to do its own thing, and it just has to follow its own feeding pattern, and it has a different bill to the gulls, so it's able to find food that the gulls won't be able to. It's got a probe style bill, so it's unique. Not that there's nothing wrong with the gulls, but they're a lot more common, they're a lot louder, a little bit more aggressive. But the oyster catcher, a little bit quieter, more docile, beautiful bird. I've noticed why people are into the Connolly thing, right? Between the left and the normies, as I said. There's something that she does that sort of ticks a few boxes with people, that hits home with people, okay? And that thing that she does is come out with very highly diplomatic and neutral and open-minded, or something that's perceived as open-minded, I suppose, answers and stuff. And she kind of did that in her, in her acceptance speech, her president-elect acceptance speech, where she sort of said that she'd also like to represent those who, didn't vote for her and those who spoiled their votes and stuff, because she's inclusive and she represents all. So she's good at that. She's good at sort of the real, calm, collected and relaxed way of being, accepting and open-minded and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of, to be honest with you, I didn't really want to do another video talking about Connolly, because this is kind of, what's done is done now, and it's getting a little bit boring now. But what I wanted to do was just kind of acknowledge the fact that this seems to be a thing that Ireland is doing to itself. Voting in this type of leadership. And I know it's not, the President of Ireland isn't necessarily the leader of Ireland. But it is, in a way, kind of, isn't it, when you think about it? But we kind of keep doing this to ourselves. So we seem to think, there's a notion out there that seems to think that her type of view on things is the way out, or is the way forward for Ireland. Now, if you look at the situation Ireland is in at the moment, if you look at the unrest we're witnessing, if you look at the shambles that is our, property, accommodation, rentals, mortgages, availability of housing, the sheer difficulty this country is to live in, between even like costs of electricity and transport, all that kind of stuff. It's incredibly difficult to live and rent and just get by. It really is. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of the policies that are to blame for that are sort of more left-wing type of policies, if you ask me. The money that we're spending on issues outside of ourselves, we're not selfish enough in Ireland. We're too interested in affairs outside of Ireland. If you look at these buoys here, these lifesaver rings, if somebody goes into the water, like you throw one of them in, you don't go in after them, and you pull them out or whatever. You stay safe, you look after yourself, right? Don't get yourself into trouble over other issues. But that's what Ireland is doing. Ireland has got itself into trouble now with a lot of stuff. It's really in trouble. The iPass thing is one thing. We're in trouble over that now. Things are bad, okay? So when she says that she's going to represent the non-Irish people living here and stuff, will she acknowledge this? I don't think she will. She'll only speak of immigration as a positive thing, because she's a left-wing person. So that sort of brainwashed thinking that, everyone is inherently is good, and if they're bad or they act bad, it's due to circumstances beyond their control. That if somebody comes into the country and ends up murdering someone, it's because, something happened down the line, or they were treated a certain way and then they ended up turning into a killer. But you and me watching this, we might be a little bit more skeptical and might have a slightly different take on things. Only one of us is right. Either I'm right or the lefties are right. Today marks the first day of the shorter winter hours, okay? Well, they're not shorter, it's an hour less in the evening or whatever. And it's the start of a period of 4 months. It's going to be the end of February, more or less, before the hour goes forward again. And we get evening kind of brightness. So this is sort of a third of the year that's dark. And, the way I see it is I just have to embrace it. I have to deal with it now, that it's going to be darker. I'll be able to do less stuff outside. But there will be days that are, not like this. There'll be days that are calm. And they'll be cool. They might be cold, but they might be crispy and they might be sunny. So all I can do is just look forward to those kind of crispy, sunny, frosty mornings. That kind of weather, that sort of anti-cyclone, high-pressure weather. So I'm just going to look forward to those days and try and remain somewhat positive. And, I don't begrudge Connolly, and I don't begrudge her followers, of which there are many in Galway. There's an old Irish saying that we use, you're welcome to her, you're welcome to it. You're welcome to it. In other words, I'm not into it, but knock yourself out. Knock yourself out! And that's kind of how I feel now. So, the Irish have they've got their new president. Is she representing all of us? I don't really think so. But, we have to, as I say about the weather, just accept and embrace. And brace. Brace yourself. Because there's 7 years. And remember that, you are in control of yourself. You might be able to control, who you get to vote for as a president of your own country, because that choice was taken from you. You might feel shit about your country and about the way things are going, and the sort of vibe out there and how difficult things are. But you're the master of yourself, okay? So look after your health. Just because you're feeling shit about the country doesn't mean that you give up on yourself. Very good. How are you? How's it going? Good to see you. How's it going, guys? The traffic stopped here at the Éire Square. They're going to have the parade now, coming down through Shop Street here. The Mochnus parade. So there's lots of ghouls around Galway tonight. Plenty of ghoulish characters participating in the parade, and just here anyway. So I might just have a little look at this for a minute. It's going to be tough to get a shot from here, but I have my selfie stick. Oh, it's very hard to see anything. So I've just come back down here to Éire Street, just off Eglinton Street here, because it's a little bit easier to get closer. You can feel the deeper sounds, the low end of the music. So I just hung around there for a little bit of the Mochnus parade, just to check it out. So as you can see, everybody's walking back. It wasn't bad. There was a few kind of cool things, but it was a little bit shorter than I thought, and slightly less action. So that's the first one I've seen in a few years. Haven't seen it live in a few years, so at least I saw it. So that's it for another Mochnus parade. And it's always the bank holiday weekend, just as we embark, as I said, on the darker winter months. November, December, January and February. Let's get through it, eh? See you, lads.